All right, people, we have a great episode of The Bomb Hole for you today, and we had the pleasure of having Ben Poechman in studio. An incredible storyteller and a very unique upbringing. He grew up on a farm. That's where he learned how to snowboard. He's jumping off the barn roof. He's jibbing troughs. There's cows. It's pretty unbelievable stuff, and so much of it's documented, so we highly recommend you check out the YouTube version of this one if you're not already on the YouTube version. We also have a very interesting conversation about what it means to be a pro snowboarder these days, as I hate to break it to you, times are changing. And a little announcement, Bombhole Cup is right around the corner. Go to thebombhole.com, sign up. There's so many classes. It's a beautiful event, Brighton, April 5th and 6th. You're not going to want to miss it, okay? And before we get into this episode, I want to thank our sponsors. Today we have Woodward, Bubs Naturals, Pub Beer, Herschel, Nitro, Goodr, Lucy, Snow League, Skidoo, Smith, and The Uninvited. Thank you so much for all your support, and without any further ado, let's get into it, the Ben Poechman episode. Here we go.
You are listening to the
Hey, MFM, see you on the lift. Back attack, dude.
Bon voyage!
Get that damn car off of the hill.
Slide down them big hills, you know what I mean, on the big, nice burgundy snowboard.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Bomb Hole, presented by Run Through a Wall, Smelling Salts. Co-hosting in my chair to the right is Seth Hewitt. What's happening, Seth?
Not a lot. Just
a lot of hockey these days.
a lot of hockey. Fresh off a flight from Dallas. The boys' travel team was out there for the weekend, so good hockey dad weekend.
Whew.
Yeah.
Love to see it. We got Liam Glass in Silk's chair today. How we doing, Liam?
So good.
Love it. We got no, unfortunately, Silk D could not make it in today, so you are replacement Silk D. How does it feel?
Big shoes to fill.
Big shoes, big New Balances to fill. Yeah. Orthopedic. And we got Ben Poechman in the hot seat today. Ben, what's happening?
Not a lot. Happy to be here. Big fan of the show.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on. I want to start off by asking first, what are you doing in Utah, and how was your day yesterday?
Yesterday was on. It was a kind of a sleeper powder day. We didn't expect it, but we pulled in the night before. Little detour from Jackson. We were just there for the Corbets, Kings and Queens, and yeah, I figured we'd stop in. Quick little Salt Lake.
Cool. How was, I saw an insane clip of Wyndham that you shared on your story.
Yeah, lawn dart. He's living up to the name.
Explain what happened on that clip.
Well, I think a little bit of miscommunication, you know. Things are moving quick when you're with the boys and you're jumping off stuff, but he's like, yeah, is it good? Like, if I just, thread the needle between these two trees? And oh my God, I thought he was coming off. I thought he was taking off on a lower little finger, and he took off top rope and was just a freaking Superman flying through the air. He ended up clipping a tree on his head, like a branch on his head, and then somehow sandwiched in between this like large full-grown tree, and then just came down like diving headfirst in the snow, walked away from it. I think he twisted his ankle a little bit, but
Full fly swatter.
yeah.
Full fly swatter. Yeah, love to see it. Also, preface, huge Wyndham fan.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. Let's talk about Corbets, though, because that looked like a spectacle to go down in the low visibility.
Yeah, bit of a skier comp, I think,
Yeah.
you know?
Not chill.
Yeah, all the footage I'd seen of it was like pretty hardcore, people just chucking their meat. But I had the opportunity to go down with Yeti, and originally I wasn't even going to do the comp. They were just going to like send me down there to hang out and just kind of like see what it's like behind the scenes. And then pretty last minute, they're like, also, if you want to get in the mix, go for it. And I was like, you know what? I'm there. If the snow's good, maybe I'll like get lucky and draw like top 10, because there's like 24 people, and you could imagine 24 guys lined up to hit the same drop. It gets pretty beat up. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll drop early to be chill. I got 22nd. So I was like, shit. But yeah, I kind of got all the odds stacked against me. When it happened, like storm rolled in, we had snow, visibility was shit. But still went for it. I like landed a backy off the the Corbets drop, which I was pretty hyped on, but then just like got snow into my goggles, like full one eye blind, like on the inside, and was just total flat light white out and just tried to hold it together, but just couldn't even see what the hell I was doing.
You like sniped a little POW landing, right? Like right next to the rock.
There was low key like one patch of snow just like a bit further than where everyone was landing against the rock wall. And so I was like, all right, if I like straight up take off and go straight along this wall, I might catch transition. And it was still flat as shit, but yeah, I caught it. I landed in it, but it was like the impact was enough to like jack my shit for sure.
Yeah, crazy concept like for a contest too, where you're like, we're gonna send 40, however many people into the same bomb hole, and then after you tomahawk, when you get up from almost surely tomahawking, we're gonna have a park jump. So when your goggles are completely fucked, and you're mildly concussed, we want you to go off this hard pack.
Totally out of control.
Yeah, totally. Like 90% of the people going off the park jump like did not have goggles or like couldn't see.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Irie had a sick one. He like went back 9 and full helmet, helmet goggle ejects on landing.
Irie, he overcooked the turkey on the takeoff, huh?
He hit the skier lip, which is like a popper, like a total jacker. And he's like, yeah, switchback rodeo. It's like, really? Like, all right, you better do that real slow because you have a lot of hang time.
He got done flipping, I think, like when he was still going up.
Yeah, big time.
And then he kind of brought it back or something weird.
Yeah,
like he didn't like keep going, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like kind of stalled, and it was sick.
Yeah.
Also, though, he basically back 9 the bottom jump after, which I was respect.
Yeah, slap some respect on that.
Shout out Boggs line too, west wall, and then he hit from like side hill off the takeoff into the fresh. Like
that
off
was
the side
fire.
of the park jump.
Totally. Yeah, I know. And his entry into Corbets was sick too. He like came around the side and like redirected. Boggs is on one for sure.
Yuki's line was fire.
Oh, I know.
Cab 5, back 10. Yeah.
You hit that little ice cookie too on your in run.
Oh yeah, that didn't help. Like 6 feet before the lip, a little ice cookie on my heel edge. Did not help. Almost
Looks
lost
sketchy.
it. Yeah.
Love Jackson Hole marketing department. They're like, hey, we got natural selection. Nah, we're good. We got Corbets. it's much better event. But the fucking thing that cracks me up too is like watching skiing. How degrading is it when they gotta walk back up, get the skis after the Tommy? Well, thank God we don't have to deal with that, huh?
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine. And like you need a metal detector or something. Like, where's my pole? Like, good luck.
The poles are sketchy.
Yep.
Yeah, if I blow up and the goggles are gone, I'm out.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, those things just
Flee the
staying
scene.
there.
Flee the
Yeah.
scene. Amazing. Cool. Well, let's throw it back. You know, Ontario local. You know what? We're gonna get right into a guest question.
Oh shit.
This is from Tommy J over at K2. Here we go.
Hey Chris. Hey Ben. I don't know who's sitting in the passenger seat over there, but hey everybody. Hope you're well. Ben, what's up? It's Tom from K2. Just a quick question for you here. Rumor has it that you kind of cut your teeth snowboarding and riding on a farm, like using hay bales to form jumps and jibs and that kind of stuff. Can you give us a little bit of peek behind the curtain on that and kind of explain to us maybe like kind of a crazy setup? All right, man. Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing this. Hope you guys are all well. Bye.
Damn. Thanks, Tom. That's a good question. Yeah, when I think about it, it's kind of crazy, like how I even got into snowboarding. It seems super unlikely. My parents weren't into skiing, like they didn't ski at all. And like the last story of my mom skiing was like she got blindsided by a snowboarder. So she was like already like didn't really like snowboarders. But I kind of like saw a photo or something or a video when I was young, like 5-6 years old, of a snowboarder. And I swear it was like a guy doing a method or something, just flying through the air on this like popsicle, you know. And I was like, what the hell is that? You know, growing up on a farm, never really seen anything like that. Everyone was just playing hockey. There wasn't really much else going on. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, shit, I need to make that happen somehow. And yeah, I didn't get to go until I was like 8 years old. But leading up to that, I was like straight up drawing pictures of little like stickman snowboarder dudes just like jumping off cliffs, and like would put it on the fridge and just be like, yo, like I want to do that, Mom. Like I don't know how or where, but like I want to do that. And then we had like a school trip that would go twice a year to this like the closest resort. I think it was like 45 minutes, called Talisman, which ended up going bankrupt like a few years later. And yeah, kind of a crazy spot. But yeah, I got to go when I was like 8 years old. My mom chaperoned, so I could go 2 years early. And then, yeah, had a lesson, like could not do it. Like it was so hard just falling on your ass all day, you know? And then since then, like since none of my family was into it, they weren't skiing. We were pretty far from the resort. I just kind of had to figure it out on my own. I got my first board through a Sears catalog, this like full plastic like Echo board, and it was on. As soon as I had that, I was like stacking up plywood ramps against a cement wall or a bale of hay, and like I think the first rail I hit was like I stacked a row of bricks in the snow and just like was 50 in it.
Straight to a brick hubba, basically.
Yeah. wasn't very conducive to board slides, but learned that the hard way. But yeah, and then ever since is just like, yeah, my older brother kind of started snowboarding around the same time. He wasn't as into it, so he wasn't really trying to make it happen. So I was kind of mostly on my own. So I would get to like a local park, which had a hill, build a kicker there. And that was like a highlight. If I could get to go to there like every other week or something, was like, holy shit, I can like ride down a hill as opposed to like, you know, a hay bale with a piece of plywood on it for speed. But that just kind of evolved over time, and it just turned into like, you know, digging in rails in the fall and like building my own terrain park in the cow pasture. We had a cow pasture that was like not steep at all. It was like a 5% grade, but I would like stack up like 3 or 4 like big hay bales high and like, you know, drill together a few plywoods and make a nice drop-in ramp. And then my like jibs at that point became like 2x4s. I'd make like a rail frame, and then we had like old chicken feeder troughs and that were just like laying around, junk metal, and I would like attach those. It was like the perfect size to go over a 2x4, and those were like my first like rails. So I was just like out there after school every day, just jibbing and yeah, watching videos and trying to.
I'm interested in this chicken farm situation. So are you guys just swimming in eggs? Like what's the, I imagine you got eggs coming out all over the place, right?
A lot of eggs, yeah. My dad's like a organic egg farmer, so it's like totally family run farm. We have like 6,000 chickens.
Damn.
Which sounds like a lot, but in like farming terms, that's like super, super small. It's like as small as you could get to like still kind of be more than a hobby farm. But yeah, grew up eating fresh organic eggs.
Like a farmhand? Were you helping out around?
Oh, big time. It's like from 6 years old on, we had work to do, and it was like gathering the eggs. You had to like, those chickens lay an egg every single day, so you got 6,000 eggs to pick up by hand every single day. So that was kind of our chore. Like the kids were like gathering eggs every day, and then there was like a lot of other things to do around the farm, like fork and shit. We had like 35 cows and 2 pigs, and the reason we had the cows was so that my dad could use like the manure for like fertilizer, because him being organic, he can't use synthetic fertilizer, so he makes his own like compost manure out of it, and that was kind of the reason to have the cows. But yeah, there was just all kinds of stuff. I think I started driving tractor when I was like 8 years old, and yeah, just doing the whole farm life, which at the time I was like resenting it. All my buddies in town were like hanging out, riding around on bikes and, you know, learning to skateboard and shit. And on the weekends we're just like, you know, forking shit or baling hay or whatever you had to do. But yeah, looking back, I'm like stoked. It was like a cool, unique experience.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That builds like big work ethic, you know what I mean? And like, because a farm doesn't stop. Like, you know, you don't just take vacation from a farm, you know? Because, you know, like my mom's, her parents had a dairy farm.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like every day. It's like you got to milk the cows at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. It's like picking up eggs every day.
Yep.
You think the work ethic translated into snowboarding?
I think so. Yeah, I'd like to think so anyways. I don't really like stop just because I would want to stop, I guess. It's kind of like jobs got to get done. So we're here to get it done, like, whatever it takes kind of thing. Like when we're in harvest mode on the farm, it's like we have a 1 week window of weather to get the shit done. So it would be like 13, 14-hour days. My dad's out there middle of the night, cutting hay or whatever. So yeah, kind of learned that early on for sure.
You grew up in hockey country. You hockey guy or no?
I wish, man. There's 6 kids in our family, and it was just like way too hectic with the farm and everything for us to be all traveling to different places playing hockey. So we all wanted to, but it was like, sorry kids, like there's too many of you. So we played
street hockey.
Yeah, that's true. We played like soccer and basketball, kind of more low key, but
that's cool. So how did your snowboard career kind of evolve from there, from DIY, chicken trough jibbing?
Yeah. I mean, I guess once I got my license and like into high school and stuff, I had a few buddies I met, and we would maybe carpool up to Blue Mountain was like the closest place. And yeah, I just got into like park riding and just became like a total park rat because it's just like there's nothing else to do.
What resort?
Yeah, Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's that like geographically from Toronto? Because it's pretty close to Toronto, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like where I grew up is like 2 hours northwest of Toronto, and then Blue Mountain's like an hour north.
My mom's from Ontario. She grew up in Fenland Falls, which is a little small, like a lake town, kind of by Bob Cajun.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Bob Cajun.
But anyway, awesome country out there.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, the lakes are freaking. We got the Great Lakes. Super nice for sure.
Yo, listen up, everybody. I got some fire news from the Uninvited. They're back at it this season, and guess what? They're giving you a shot at securing a spot at the Uninvited Invitational at Woodward Park City, April 10th through the 13th. That's right, the Uninvited Wildcard is back in action. This is your chance to throw down and make it happen. Here's the deal. Submit a 30 to 60 second reel on Instagram by March 7th with your best park and street clips. Tag the Uninvited and Slush Magazine, and don't forget the hashtag Uninvited Wildcard 2025. That's your ticket in. And check this out. New for this year, 10 riders will be picked to have their videos showcased on the platform, where viewers will vote for their favorite. One lucky rider walks away with cold, hard cash. Last year, over 50 entries came through and 7 people locked down their spot. One of them, 14-year-old Jess Perlmutter, who absolutely blew us away and walked out with $9,000. Yeah, you heard that right. So head over to theuninvited.com/wildcard for all the event deets. Time to shoot your shot for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Now, do you find yourself slowing down a little bit in your older age? Maybe getting off hill a little earlier? Well, you could be dehydrated. 75% of Americans are dehydrated. And that goes up when you're at elevation, when you're in the mountains. So I drink Bubs Hydrate or Die hydration packets. There's 2,000 milligrams of electrolytes. There's no added sugar. There's no artificial flavors. Let me tell you, when I'm hydrated, I ride better. I can ride longer. I have more energy. All in all, my vitality is just better. So if you're interested in picking up some Bubs Naturals Hydrate or Die, head on over to bubsnaturals.com and use promo code BOMBHOLE for 20% off your order. And stay hydrated, people, with Bubs Naturals Hydrate or Die.
All right, we're going to take a brief intermission to discuss some incredible offers from our incredible friends over at Woodward Park City. Get your child's snowboarding adventure started correctly at Woodward Park City. Whether they're making their first turns or mastering front boards, Woodward Park City has a wide range of classes for all ages and all skill levels. If you're interested in progressing, head on over to woodwardparkcity.com.
All right, I have a guest question from Adam Franks here. Here we go.
Hey, Chris, and what up to the whole Bomb Hole fam? This is Adam Franks calling in for my guest question. Ben, my brother, super stoked you're on the Bomb Hole, man. Congrats. My question for you is, who is Selfiestickman? Really look forward to hearing this episode. Love you. Peace.
Shit. I was hoping we weren't going to bring that up. Thanks, Adam. Longtime homie. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, so Selfiestickman. So basically, was riding Blue Mountain, figuring out the park scene, starting to get into street riding. Had a street crew for a few seasons. We were doing our thing, and then it was kind of like midway through the season, our filmer just like started ghosting all of us and just like, yo, like we're ready to hit the spot, like make plans, and then just would no show. And that was just like, oh shit, like everyone's kind of like, what are we gonna do? Like we don't have a filmer. Everyone just kind of started to chill and just kind of like ride for fun and whatever. And by chance, it was like Christmas time, and my family, we do like gift exchanges because there's so many of us. And we did like a gift roulette this year where like you could steal the present, whatever. And dude, I ended up last, and I got a selfie stick. And this was like pretty early on in like the selfie stick, time. And I was like laughing, like, this is so ridiculous. Like, what am I going to do with this? And it was kind of around the same time that our filmer was kind of bailing on us. So I just had this shitty little Sony point and shoot camera, for just taking photos. And I just connected 2 and 2 together. I was like, fuck, maybe if I just like brought this out with me, maybe I could just like get a clip on my own. And I like started just on the farm, like where I start, like, from way back, I was just jumping off the barn roof, because there's not many hills, and like, it snows a bunch, and the barn roof looks like really sick, it's like got a drift on it, and it was looking pretty fresh. So I just started that, and then I did that a couple times, and I was like, damn, I just got a clip. Like, yeah, it's static angle, but like I'm doing work, like, rather than sitting around. So then I ended up spending that whole season back in Ontario, and I just started going out and was like hiking to that like abandoned resort that I had grown up at, and there's nobody there, and they just had full ski runs, untouched. And it was like a good snow year in Ontario, and I think it was like 2012 or sometime around then. And it was like one of the worst winters in Whistler. Maybe it was like 2013, but yeah. So I ended up just like hiking around, spent the whole season filming myself with this ridiculous selfie stick, just going out on my own little side missions. And then I like put a full part together. Didn't think much of it because I was like, dude, I don't know. This is like, I'm just riding for fun, like whatever. And like threw it up on Vimeo, and then ended up getting like some traction. I remember like Snowboarder Mag and shit was sharing it. And I think it hit like 20-some thousand views, which was like more than I think all of our like street videos were getting at the time. And I was just like so blown away. I was like, what the hell? Like, I was trying so hard, risking it, hitting these gnarly street spots, like, and our videos would get like 5K or something like that, and be like, it was cool, people liked it. But I did this thing that was like just me out there having fun, and it was like received really well. And yeah, it was kind of.
I went down the Selfiestickman wormhole.
Oh shit!
I saw everything. It's fucking actually awesome. Like a couple things that we got to talk about. One, you're by yourself filming a East Coast backcountry shoots, and dude, you're popping off slabs. You got no heavy gear. Not that even if you had heavy gear, there's no one to dig you out. But yes. Like, dude, you were popping off slabs on the East Coast. Dude, you should see this shit. Straight slides were going down.
That's true. Yeah, I did not know what I was doing, dude.
They probably don't even sell Avi gear in Ontario.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know it was possible, but I just found there was like this Georgian Bay, and there was these like bluffs. It got to the point I was going to like, like sand pits.
Yep.
And I was straight up just like, damn, dude, these sand pits are like making like spines. Like, so I was like full trespassing, like hopping gates to like get in and get my like quick little couple turns. But yeah.
It looked like you got caught in one where you were like legitimately in a mini Avi.
Facts. Yeah. There was one that was like just like a convex, like cornice. And yeah, I went for a ride, and I was like, shit. Oh, like I could have, I should probably like pay attention to what I'm doing. But yeah, it was like early days before I knew what was up. And then just like my guard was way down. I was like, I'm in Ontario. This is so chill. Like the slope's so small, but there was enough snow that, yeah, it could have been an issue.
Yeah, that was really cool. Another thing I saw too is you have that famous down bar in your hometown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walkerton. It's like perfect 35 stair, like wooden stairs only on one side. It's like that's the hill that I like would go and build a little kicker like halfway down and was like learning 360s and shit there. And I never knew like that's what that was for a long time as a kid. And then that was actually the first handrail I ever hit, just because it was right there. But then like later on, Natty Speed, 35 stair. It's like perfect.
Dude, I think JP and Simone hit it back in the day.
I think JP's got like cab 2 on it. Like later on learning, like all the big dogs were at it. It was like, shit, that's like my spot.
Switchback lip still open on that thing?
Uh-huh.
Is it open? I wonder, I feel like somebody in like dope.
I think someone hit that. Yeah.
Because if that's still open, dude, I'm fucking getting a ticket, brother. That thing needs it to happen.
Still there?
Yeah. Dude, that's down bar for the dreams. That's a down bar you dream about right there.
It is. Yeah. It's perfect.
You served some stuff up on that in your formative years?
Yeah, nothing notable, some front boards, nose press. One thing I did, maybe an NBD. It's not that cool, but I like pole jammed the start of it and then 50 back one.
Yeah, it's Selfiestickman.
That was in Selfie. That was the Ender. That was the Ender in
Selfiestickman.
That's true. I did that alone. Also, wouldn't recommend hitting street spots alone.
Just taco, dead body at the bottom of the rail, just by yourself.
Yeah, young and dumb for sure.
You never went there, did you, Seth, with JP?
I don't think so. No.
Probably wouldn't remember if you did.
I didn't jib in Ontario. I don't think so.
Okay.
It was like Newfoundland or Montreal, Quebec.
Yeah.
Cool. So at what point did you, because it seemed like you made the move over to Vancouver or Whistler area at some point, right?
Mm-hmm. Pretty funny story, actually. The first time I went to Whistler, I won this like West Beach contest, like a video contest. It was like, how bad do you want it? And it was like make a video submission, and like my buddy from high school had a little camcorder, and we were like, yo, I want to win this shit. Like I want to go to Whistler. It was like a trip to Camp of Champs, which was a dream. This was like the Eddie Graham's days when like it was popping off, and I was like, dude, let's make a video. And I got this like Halloween costume. It was like a naked suit. And it was like outrageous. Like it had like a 2-foot long dong on it and like a lot of pubic hair, like little brown nipples. Like it was disgusting. So I put this costume on and I pretended like I was like a West Beach addict. Like West Beach was some kind of hard drug. And we just went around doing like ridiculous shit. Maybe Sil can pull up some clips from that. It's still living on the YouTube, but yeah, I guess there was like 500 entries, and I just got a call one day like, hey, like, dude, you won by a long shot. Like, your video was heinous. So, yeah, I got to go to Camp of Champs. That was like grad year in high school. Yeah, I had Matt Belzo was my coach. And
Damn.
Yeah, so I was just picking his brain. I was like, dude, how do you do it? Like, how do you like make a living? Like, what do you do for work? Like, how do you make it happen? And he kind of gave me the ones and twos about how it works. And I think that next spring I moved out, and then it was like a lot of back and forth because I was still a street kid. I was still like filming urban. So I would actually like move to Whistler in the spring and summer, and then move back to Ontario for like the winters to film street. And then I was doing that for a few seasons.
Cool. All right, let's serve up a Patreon question. What you got, Seth?
All right, this one's from Wyndham.
Oh,
you guys should ask Ben about his first time ever riding a dirt bike.
Shit. Yeah, I just told Wyndham this story. Shout out Lawn Dart. Thanks, dog.
Give him an air horn.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, so Wyndham's a big dirt biker, so we got on the topic, and I was like, man, I've only been dirt biking once in my life. It was probably like 6 years ago. And Colin DeWatt gives me a call, and he's like, hey, bud, like, what's up? This is like October, late October. Mountain's not open yet. He's like, you want to go on a mission tomorrow? We're going to go like camp in the Alpine. We're going to like go up like Black Tusk. We're just going to camp up there. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. He's like, you ever ridden a dirt bike? I'm like, no. He's like, cool. Yeah, you can borrow mine. I'm like, okay. So cuts to the chase. We're in the parking lot, 6 a.m. He just hands me this dirt bike. We got like 80-pound packs. Like we had a tent, sleeping bags for like winter camping, snowboards, boots, the whole nine. And dude, I'm stalling it in the parking lot. Like I can't get into gear. Like they're just shaking their heads. I think Tyler Ravel was with us and they're just like, dude, this is not going to be okay. Like what we were about to go up was like, I don't know, like 15K up a pretty gnarly logging road, just like up into the snow line with all this gear. And yeah, it was pretty funny. I like probably stalled it 3-4 times. And then as soon as I got into second gear, I didn't look back. I was like, I'm going. And then they were just like, oh shit, I guess we're doing this. But yeah, it was pretty hectic. By the time we got up there, we were like hitting, like the road would be like frozen river, like water was flowing over frozen. We were like hitting mad ice. We all dumped it like a bunch of times. It was pretty insane, but we made it. Camp, snowboarded. It was cool. But yeah, shout out to Colin Dewott for believing that I could do that, having never done it.
That's major. Figured out the clutching real quick.
Yeah, it was kind of do or die. Honestly.
Any whiskey throttle moments? Just
no whiskey, because it was actually opposite, because Colin's, his throttle, like the grip was loose on his freaking bars. So you had to like thunder grip that thing to get it to even go. And like we were going over water bars on like steep pitches with all your shit on your back. So it was kind of like I just had to grip that sucker and just like go for it.
Incredible. We got any other Patreons?
Yeah, we got one from Jordan Mead here. How was having Alex Pashley as a team manager?
Great question.
Alex Pashley is my dog for sure. He's like definitely a banter god. I know he's been on the bomb hole enough times for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a legend. He's fun to hang out with. And he's always got like some ridiculous stories, usually involving Austin Smith or Curtis Cizik. And yeah.
He's not very good at snowmobiling is one thing.
No.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, big Polaris guy. Big Polaris guy. We actually have a question from Alex Pashley. Why don't we just segue right into that? Here we go.
Ben, Chris, how you guys doing? Alex Pashley here. Ben, I got a couple questions for you. Knowing that you grew up on a chicken farm, how did one get into carving rock? It seems like kind of an interesting thing I'd like to hear a little bit more about. And a second quick follow-up question. We both went out to low maintenance Estelle Pensiero's event up at Baldface a couple years back, and you technically, I think, were my little out there. And just wondering if you had any fun stories to share about that whole trip and experience. Hope you guys are well. Thanks a lot. Later.
Ashley. Thanks, brother. Shit. Okay, yeah. Stone carving. That's kind of a crazy one. Yeah, so kind of goes back to living in Whistler. I was working landscaping in the summers, and I was doing that for like probably 6 years to try to just make it as a snowboarder. It kind of was like you get laid off seasonally, so I could have the winter to kind of pursue snowboarding. But it got to a point where we're just there landscaping at like these $30-40 million mansions up in the hills. And it was like, it just got to the point where it was soul crushing. Like there was one place that had like untreated cement around their like grass courtyard. And you had to go along the edges. You couldn't use a weed whacker because it was like untreated, didn't want to stain it or whatever. We had like these like shears for like a sheep or something. You'd get on your hands and knees and go along the edge with the shears, and then you'd come back with a pair of scissors and clip every single blade of grass around this like 500 square foot or 1,000 square foot like courtyard. And I just was like, had a moment of realization, like, damn, I have never felt more like a peasant in my entire life than on my hands and knees cutting individual blades of grass for like $13 an hour. So I was like, all right, man, I gotta change something up. Like I love snowboarding so much, but if I have to like sacrifice so much of my year to like be doing something that just does not fill me up, it's like almost not worth it. So dude, I just started like kind of looking And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't really have any education. I just moved straight from high school straight to Whistler, and I'd been pursuing the snowboarding thing. And I was just looking for a job, something different just to get me started. And I found this like Craigslist ad for a stone carving apprenticeship. And it was like through an art gallery in Whistler. And it was just to make these little like 3-inch like Inukshooks that would be like a gift shop offering type thing. And so I went to the interview. I have no experience. Like, thought I was shit at art, period. Because my oldest brother is like super talented sketch artist. So growing up, I just like would try to draw like something, and it just did not compare. Like, I just stopped. I just was like, oh, I guess I'm not artistic. Like, I just won't go down that road. I'll just keep full on with like sports and snowboarding. So yeah. Anyways, got the job. Did 3 months apprenticeship, carved these little Inukshooks, super like easy, just like super simple little design. And then 3 months later, you know, the owner, John Fathom, shout out for the opportunity. He was like, dude, look, you're like, you kind of got a knack for this. You're picking it up really fast. And he was like, if you want to carve your own shit, like, I got the stone, I have a studio, and he had all the tools. And he was like, if you want to come in here on your own time and carve, we got all this stuff, and you can just like make whatever you want, and we'll sell it on commission through the gallery. And then on top of that, to kind of keep me afloat, he had hourly work where I could still carve these little Inukshooks for him. So that was kind of my start. And I just like, within that first year, I carved my first like bigger sculpture, which was like a 4-foot solid marble, like 400-pound piece. It's called Chili Tree, like dedicated to the late artist Chili Tom, who's kind of a Whistler legend. And yeah, that sold within like 6 months. And then from then on, I was like, holy shit, like, I can do this. You know, it was the first time in my life that I like made enough money that I was like, I don't have to go to work on Monday. Like, I could chill, or I could do something else. And so the first thing I did was I bought acrylic paint and canvas, and it was like, if I can carve in 3-dimension, I must be able to like paint in 2D and like figure out how that works. And so then I just started painting in my underwear in my bedroom, and just like from there, I think a few months later, sold my first original painting in a little local art show. And then I was like, holy shit, I can do this too. So yeah, from then on, that was like 7 years ago. And since then, I've just been painting and stone carving.
Insane. I have some questions. I got some questions. So stone carving, you start with just a big block, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just start hacking away with an angle grinder with like a diamond flap disc or something?
Exactly. Yeah, you got like diamond coated carbide blades, and
crazy.
You just start cutting into that sucker.
Just dust everywhere.
Yeah, it's psycho. It's like that stone dust is like lethal. So you have to wear this, the P90 particulate mask and goggles and earmuffs. Like, you're pretty like in your own world when you're doing it. But the flow state you get with stone carving is pretty mental. Like, because it's so loud and dusty, and like there's so much like, vibration and everything. You just kind of get lost in it. Like, hours will go by where I'm just like grinding and shaping it. And it's like so immersive. You're like creating depth and dimension into the form, and it's just like so continuous, and it's just, it's pretty sick. I definitely love stone carving.
Crazy. How bad does the angle grinder hand get? Because I feel like I've grinded metal, and like my hand starts like fucking twitching.
Yeah, you get the like your hand is vibrating for hours after, and it's heavy. Like, my girl came to the studio a couple times to do a couple little projects, and she picks up the angle grinder, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, you hold this in your hand all day. It's like 20 pounds.
Your hand goes numb, like just uncapping a rail. So doing that for a few hours carving stone is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'm always curious, like, what happens when you mess up? Like,
you're like
there,
bro.
You're going in, and then all of a sudden you're just like so stoked, like this thing's coming together, and then all of a sudden the one little wrong move, you can't just paint over it and start over. It's like, oh well, that's done.
Yep, that's the difference. It's like painting is addition, and you can always add more and change it, but stone is subtraction. So once it's gone, you cannot go back. I've only had one piece really go on me, and it was like my first bear, and I was like a week into working on it, and the leg broke off, and I was like, fuck bears. I was like, I'm carving trees. Like, I like trees. You know, being in the Pacific Northwest, that was like a shock to me to see these massive trees, and always inspired a lot of my work. So, yeah.
Do you go in with the Dremel or something? How do you do the real, like, because angle grinder's not that tech, right?
Yeah, you have like multiple like layers to the process. So you'll start with an angle grinder or even like hammer and a chisel in combination. If you're removing like bulk material, then you'll just make like big long cuts and then get in with a sledgehammer and a chisel and like hammer off the big chunks, and then you get into like shaping, which is all blade work. Like you get a smaller blade, and then from there, then you get to like a bigger, like a die cut grinder or a die grinder. It's like a oversized Dremel, and then it has all the different like shaped heads, and you kind of use that to get whatever like shape you need to get. And then from then on, it's like polishing, which is like super gnarly because all the time you spent shaping, which is like fun and stimulating, you're like changing it so much into the form that you want. And then once the form is there and you're like, okay, now I just have to polish it, you have to do at least equally or more as much time as it took you to do all that shaping in polishing. And you polish like grit by grit. So you start with 36 and then 60 and then 100. And it's a process. By the time you're polishing, you're like, fuck my life.
Yeah. Not much change happening.
No.
What's the amount of max hours you put into one?
I think the longest one was like it's still for sale. It's at a gallery in Whistler. It's like took me a month. Yeah, 1 month on one sculpture, which sucks. But it's crazy. In the gallery I work in, there's a few other artists that work in there, and the owner of this gallery, his like thing is carving these like life-size polar bears out of solid marble. And the very first one they did it out of a straight square block, like a 10,000 pound block of marble that they carved down to 6,000 pounds. And it took them 2 years, 3 artists working on it. So I've helped work on one of the life-size polar bears like a couple of years ago. I worked on it for like 2 weeks. But now they have it pretty refined. They can crank one out in like 7 months. But it's pretty psycho. The things sell for like $500,000, and he's made like 6 of them.
God damn.
They sell.
They sell, bro. Like one of the guys who bought it, one of them was like the owner of the Four Seasons. Another guy who bought it was like a prince somewhere in India and was like building like a wing on his mansion just for the sculpture. And it was like, wow, I didn't know that this kind of wealth was like existent, you know, or like you maybe hear about it or see about it to be like somehow connected to it. It's kind of crazy.
Polar bear money.
Yeah.
Someone likes bears.
It's no joke.
That's killer. All right, we're going to talk about Herschel outdoor equipment. You may have seen them. We give them to all of our guests that win Name That Video part. Pack them full of bomb hole merch. They are sleek, and they're introducing a brand new performance line for travel and the outdoors. They got Alpine inspired and designed with multifunctionality for the first chair or last minute flight. I personally use all Herschel gear when I travel. I use the roller bag. I use the big roller bag. They got great backpacks. And the one thing I like, you can take your backpack and slide it over your roller bag, and you can be a true pro traveler. All their stuff's really well made, and they're building a team. They got Arthur Longo and the Dust Box on board already. So if you're interested in getting some sleek new travel gear, check out Herschel.com.
Boom! Nitro Snowboards is back at your favorite snowboard shop. Nitro was founded over 34 years ago by a couple of snowboarders and is owned and operated and run by snowboarders today. Supporting the snowboard culture through responsible business practice by supporting the shops first and developing some of the best boards, boots, and bindings over the last 34 seasons is why Nitro is still around and why we want to keep being here. Nitro co-founder Tommy DeLago said it best: anyone who takes the time to learn how to snowboard is a snowboarder and part of the Nitro family. Nitro has been supporting team riders since day one, and the team is stacked with a global presence of over 40 riders, from Sam Taxwood, Aero Etala, Brian Fox, Marcus Cleveland, Haley Langwin, Elias Elhart, Griffin Siebert, Christy Price, Sean Miskimen, Torgeir Bergen, Brantley Mullins, Benny Urban, Chuan Lee, Dominic Wagner, and a new member to the Nitro family, Iris Fam, people. Let's go. So what are you waiting for? Vote with your dollars this season and support a company whose mission is to support the snowboard community, the people, and the culture. Pick up your new Nitro snowboard gear from your favorite local snowboard shop this season.
All right, we're going to take a quick intermission here to talk to you about our good friends over at Pub Beer, who just happen to be the official beer of questionable decision-making and cheap fun. That's right. You heard it here first. Whether you're just having a couple, maybe you're watching the game, Pub Beer's a great option. Cheap fun. Maybe you need 50. Did you just get dumped? Pub Beer's got you covered. Cheap fun every time. Pub Beer.
I was talking to Adam, and he was mentioning that you when you were living in Squamish, or even maybe recently, or in Squamish is the Chief, right? And he was saying you basically every day would hike the Chief, which is basically a 2-hour hike, right?
I mean, not every day, but like my girl probably hikes it every other day. I probably hit it like once a week, but it's a Stairmaster, like straight up, straight down. But that's definitely keeps you in good shape. It's good to have that thing nearby.
You find inspo for art when you're on those strolls?
Oh shit, yeah. I mean, you're on a giant old like chunk of magma rock that's just like protruding out of the ground. It's like so cool. And then just like the trees. Like I feel like nature has informed my like art in a major way. Just like kid growing up on the farm, and all you see is like, you know, like fields with like little woods and barns and shit, and not really anything that was like untouched by people. So to like come out to the mountains and just see some like raw, untouched natural beauty was just like, holy shit, this is like, makes me feel a type of way. And I try to like bring that into my work. And yeah.
We got Patreon questions about his art? I feel like we do.
We do.
Smack
this
one of
one's
those.
from Jenny. Which artists or people in general inspire you, and how did you get to your style of painting? This is more a painting question.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, a lot of inspiration. My very first inspiration was definitely Chili Tom. You know, I'd be out for dinner or something like that in Whistler, and he had passed, you know, a few years before I started making art, but all of his art is still like around Whistler at some of the restaurants. And yeah, it was just like cool, just something that like reflected like the area, and it was like totally nature based. And I was like, man, this is cool. And he has a really particular style that's really different. And yeah, probably inspirations from there. I think like a later one is like Lucas Beaufort, and seeing the way that he's like incorporating like skate snow culture, and how he's like crossing over like painting on covers of mags and shit like that. Like I thought that was really cool, and that's kind of inspired me like more lately to like find ways to connect art into snowboard culture more. And like, because like as it is, like a lot of the time my art is so separated. It's like in a gallery somewhere, and people that see it like don't know who I am as a snowboarder. They just see like the art at face value of like it compared to anything else. So yeah, I think Lucas has been a cool person to look up to, and in that regard for sure.
I think it's interesting to talk about art in the way that like your previous experience. I think a lot of us are like, I'm not an artist. Like these other people are just born with something different that are good at drawing. They just have it or whatever. But I feel like one thing that isn't talked about with art is it's like a craft that you have to work at, and you have to have like actual work ethic and be really dedicated and committed to it. Maybe you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, big time. Like I said, my older brother, it was so good. I just thought it was shit. I would try to draw and just like compare and be like, man, there's no way I'm going to get to that level. So yeah, I just kind of thought I sucked for a long time. And yeah, it wasn't until I started stone carving that I realized like art is subjective, and what it really is like it's an expression, you know, it's a self-expression. So there's no way to like judge that based on comparing it to someone else. There is a certain level of craftsmanship, and through doing it, your craftsmanship becomes better. and your self-expression just becomes more clear. And I think that's what makes good art, is when you're able to express yourself clearly. And I think that comes through just putting in the 10,000 hours, like being able to seamlessly transfer your like conscious vision into the medium that you're working with. And that just takes time. Because when you're starting out, you're like, I don't know how to paint. So how am I going to make this thing that's in my head? You know, it's not going to come out the way you think, because you haven't mastered the skill or the craft yet. But yeah, I just think it takes time. You just like do it and keep doing it, and then it just gets better and better.
That sounds easy, but I feel like we're in such a world of distraction that it's so much easier to just scroll on your phone than it is to like get a canvas and start painting. You have to be really intentional.
Yeah, that's true. And to stick with it, yeah, I mean, sticking with a painting that's going to take you like 50 hours, like, it sucks. There's moments where you're like, I want to give up. Like, I'm so over this. Like, you made the thing, how pretty, same with stone carving, how you're like, you make the shape and then it's polishing. It's really similar in painting, where you're like, you have kind of like the general look of how it is, but then you have so much fine tuning to do. And I think that's what separates artists from like not artists, is like, if you have the dedication to stick with something, to make something that's good, be great. And then like, that's where the true art, I think, lies, is like being able to like sit with it and complete it. That's like definitely the hardest part.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, go ahead.
People are afraid to like fail too, it seems like. Whereas if you're going to be successful at art, you have to try a lot of different things before it works out.
For sure. The amount of paintings I've made that I look at and be like, I don't like it at all. Like and I spent a week working on it, but it's not really a failure. It's really just like a stepping stone for you to get to the next thing. Like, making things that you don't like or like didn't turn out how you want is just like one step closer to finally finding the thing that you do fuck with.
Totally. Yeah, like seeing the like evolution, even with like Griffin and Rav and Jamie, like seeing their early stuff to where they're at currently, it's like, wow. It's like, it's come, you don't really notice it subtly, but all of a sudden you're just like, wow, this has come a long way. Like seeing like Jamie's stuff, like when his stuff back in the 90s, it's like, whoa, Jamie painted that? And it's like, because we were going through the archives of Volcom and seeing a bunch of old art, and it's just insane just to see the evolution of his style and where he's landing today. It's just like, wow, it's a craft, you know. He's stuck with it, so it's huge.
Love it. All right, for somebody that wishes to, I fucking love when you lose yourself in a project. For me, it's more welding, but I think that, you know, why don't you just sell us on the benefits of doing art? Sell me on it.
I mean, it beats working in an office, maybe, or having a boss. You can kind of, the freedom.
The process of it, though, is more what I'm getting.
Oh, okay.
Tell me on the process. Like, what do you love it? What do you love about it?
Oh, man, that's it. Well, you said it. It's just like getting lost in something, and just like, yeah, I think it's so easy to just like pull up your phone and just like stare and doom scroll for hours and get off the couch and be like, I didn't do anything in that time, and you kind of feel empty. Whereas art is just something that you work at. Like when I was first starting, you know, all my friends were still like going to the bar on the weekend and like going out and doing shit, partying, whatever. And I would be like up till midnight on a Friday night just painting in my bedroom. And I would like wake up in the morning with like an end result, you know, and I would like have something to work on and work towards. And I feel like that was really like motivating to be like, I'm always working on this thing. It's like a constant project to have where you're like always getting inspired. You're always seeing something new that like, oh, maybe like this could be cool to try out, you know, and incorporate. And it's just like the people you meet, the experiences you have in your life, they're always like informing your work. And it just kind of becomes like a never ending evolution. Like I'm so excited about it. Like more and more as time goes on, because the way that I think about art and what I want to create is constantly changing, and you're always like, yeah, finding new ways to like express yourself.
That's great. I remember having Trevor Andrew in the studio, and I think I brought it up before, but he's like, anytime where you lose your sense of time doing something, go towards that. Wise words.
Yeah. How like, is there always a project that you have Like, is there always like a painting you're working on? Is there always like a stone sculpture you're working on? Like, is there any times where you just don't have anything on the table and you're just kind of reflecting, or
there's like
how's that process?
There's always 10. About 10 on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah. My girl, what is it like? There's a word for it. It's like something multitasking, or like long-term multitasking or something like that. But yeah, there's always just so many things that are like in the works, or you have an idea. The problem is with art is it takes a long time to bring it to life, usually, or at least in the mediums that I work with. So even if I haven't started a project in my head, there's like so many that I'm like already like are in the hopper, like ready to go as soon as I have time. So it's like, the hardest part is like picking and choosing which ones to like actually sit down and be like, I'm going to do this today, even though I know there's like 15 other things that I would like to do or ready to go at. But yeah, always something.
Cool. I was also looking on your Instagram. I saw that a bunch of this stuff you donate like proceeds to foundations or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that's been a big part of like art for me, is like kind of finding a purpose in it. Cause and now it's definitely like bleeding into snowboarding and finding ways to like give back. But yeah, that's just kind of been an important part of like my lifestyle, I guess. And I think I maybe picked that up from my dad, who's just like, he's a farmer. He's doing a pretty like noble thing in the world, feeding people and growing good organic food. And so I always kind of like felt a little empty, just like only snowboarding for myself. Like, even though it's good and it maybe inspires other people to do it and have good experiences and spend time outside, I always felt like there's got to be like something more that I can do with this platform. So I've definitely utilized that with art, because like in art, like I get to set the price for a painting. So it's like, well, if I'm setting the price, like, why don't I donate a percentage of this to a charity at all times? Like, always be doing something where there's like some kind of kickback. And yeah, and lately there's been so many more opportunities to like do events and different things where we're like can create and facilitate these kinds of situations.
Killer.
All right, folks, I had the chance to ride the 2026 Ski-Doo sleds, and these things are unbelievable. They just unleashed their most dominant deep snow lineup yet. We're talking weight reduction across the board, up to 14 pounds less wet weight on the Summit X. Industry first 32-inch ski stance on the Summit X with Expert package. Great for side hilling. I rode this thing. It's nimble. It's incredible. It fits through all the tight tree lines. You can take it on even steeper side hills, and you can explore gnarly new terrain. The free ride is back, taking riders to the extreme. All powered by the proven, reliable Rotax 2-stroke engine. They got the factory-built 850 E-Tech Turbo R. It's 180 horsepower. This baby's a whistle wagon. And they also have the naturally aspirated 850 E-Tech. And Beresford's riding this, the 600R E-Tech. It's unbelievable incentives that we haven't seen from a brand in a long time. You get 4 years of coverage if you pre-order the new 2026 Ski-Doo. It's guaranteed to be the best promo of the year. Spring promo is good through March 31st, 2025. So hit up your local Ski-Doo dealer and get one today. You will not be disappointed. All right, I got a product for you guys today I want to talk about. It's called the Squad Mag Goggle from Smith. You might catch Scott Stevens wearing these bad boys. And here's what I like about them. For me, I'm huge when a goggle lens is easy to change. And these have a great system that makes it really convenient to switch out your lenses. It's just a click of a button, boom, boom. And then if you got a low light day, it comes with a low light lens. And then you got more of a chrome lens for when it's really bright out there. It interfaces perfectly with the Smith helmets as well. So it's a really good goggle. They don't fog. They got some good anti-fog technology. Don't know how it works, but that's a great feature for me. And lastly, the one thing that's huge for me is a wide periph. You got a good peripheral vision with these things. So if you're interested in checking out the Squad Mag Goggle, head on over to smithoptics.com and you can use promo code BOMBHOLE15 and that will take 15% off your initial order from Smith Optics. It's smithoptics.com. Again, use promo code BOMBHOLE15 to take 15% off your order.
All right, I think it's time for a run-through wall smelling salt. You guys ever smacked them before? Seth, you want to kick us off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a minute.
Oh, yeah. You just pinch the middle of it, Liam. Just give it a pinch. There you go. Yep. Okay. It's a bingo.
That'll do it.
These are actually organic. They're raised on a farm as well. These are
Oh, my God.
very...
I like the fanning technique after you hit it and get a little...
The waft.
You get a little tear going.
A little waft good.
You know what? This is it's ammonia, isn't it?
Yes.
So ammonia is released in chicken shit, in the chicken barn, it's like the floor is chicken shit, and this is the exact smell of the chicken barn. So when I first hit one of these, I was like, "Oh my God, this is nostalgic!" Like, it takes me back to the.
You think your dad could get us a plug on some ammonia? You get us dialed in, go straight to the source.
I think you could.
That would be like straight. Imagine having farm to table smelling salts. That'd be a good marketing slogan too. These babies are farm to table,
straight from the chicken's ass.
Yeah.
You think you're chicken shit?
All right, it's time. You know what it's time for, Seth?
I have a feeling it's name that video part.
How's your confidence, Ben?
It's a strong 3.
Strong 3. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to get to the bottom of this. Your name is pronounced Ben Poechman, but every part of me wants to call you Ben Poechman.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with that?
Well, it's an Austrian name, and I think they just kind of switched it when they came to Canada, took out a few letters. I don't know. My grandpa might know the story, but I don't. But yeah, it's funny. My girlfriend made a hat for me, and it's like it's peck like a chicken, not poached like an egg, which is kind of fitting for the egg farmers that we are.
That's baller. I believe she's your fiance, though, right?
Yeah, she is. I'm still getting used to the terminology.
Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. Godspeed.
Oh my God, that's like scratching somewhere deep in the back of the brain. Can you play it one more time?
Yep.
Such a good song.
It's also a great video part. Seth, you have no idea on this, do you?
I think I have a genre.
I'm thinking Videograss.
Nope.
Not Videograss.
Nope.
Fuck.
Wow. Give you a couple breadcrumbs.
Yeah, hit me with a crumb.
It's a marquee film from a footwear brand.
Oh, this is Van's video, Landline.
That's correct.
Yep.
Do you need it again?
Yeah, one more time, because it's in there.
It's a backcountry rider.
This is Arthur Longo in Landline.
I almost picked that one.
It's not. Fuck.
It's a backcountry part.
It is, I know. Shit, dude.
I'm going to throw your boy Adam Franks under the bus.
You hit me with this one?
Because we had another one picked out, and then he kind of audibled.
Dude.
But backcountry Vans Landline. You got Arthur.
I know.
What's another name?
I mean, there's Pat Moore.
It's not Pat. I think you read to a Primus song, I feel like, or something.
Yeah, I know. I know it's not Pat, but...
known for not wearing a hat sometimes.
Oh, fucking be proddy, dude.
That's it.
Oh
there it
God.
is. You
Sorry,
got
Blake.
there. You got there.
Oh my God, dude.
All right, you got...
Sorry, dog.
You got all the name that video part stuff to your right. Do you want to deliver his package?
Yes, absolutely.
So you got yourself a prize pack here. I think it's a
fatty
Herschel bag or bag. Watch your headphones.
Nice big.
It's a bag if you're from Minnesota, and it's filled with.
Wow.
You got a Yeti, custom water bottle, all kinds of Bombhole merch, hats, all available at bombhole.com as well. That Herschel bag comes courtesy of Hayden Wrench as well. But yeah, so you kind of I'm not gonna say it's a clean win.
No.
I'm not gonna say it's really a win.
No.
It's kind of a consolation prize, really.
It was a participation award.
Yep. Are you doing okay? It's kind of I've lost the name of that video part. It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't. It hurts my soul a little bit, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't a meatball.
It wasn't a meatball, but we originally had Jed Anderson and Shoot the Moon, which
I
was
would have
that
got
Mazzy Star.
Yeah, easy. Done.
Mazzy Star. That was my
deal.
first pick.
That would have been for sure.
Your boy Adam Franks fucked you on
Adam, fuck.
because you would have. You have to get Mazzy Star.
Yeah,
That's all day.
That would have been nice. All good though.
All right, part 2, name that video part. This is not for you. This is for the listeners. If you know the song, comment on the photo of Ben on Instagram. It's where we pick our winner. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Okay, thank you guys for playing. Name that video. All right, I want to talk about Halation project that came out. Was it come out this year?
Yeah, in the fall.
In the fall,
Yeah.
Great project. How did that come to be? Who conceptualized it? What was the thought behind it?
Yeah, big shout out Finlay Woods from New Zealand. He kind of had the whole creative vision behind that. He kind of like saw a connection between Mitch Davern, up and comer Kiwi boarder, and myself. And the connection was kind of like based on our differences, and then Mitch kind of finding his way into like the filming aspect of snowboarding, because he was coming at it from a competitive approach. He was like on the team and did the whole coaching thing and was like, you know, kind of like on his road to Olympics. And I think at some point it kind of stopped feeling right for him and kind of wasn't really doing it for him. So he was kind of looking into like, okay, maybe I'll, you know, pivot, go a different route in snowboarding. And I guess for me, like I never had access to coaches or anything like that in snowboarding. As we talked about earlier, I was out there, you know, in the cow pastures figuring it out on my own. So I think it was kind of like a cool, just like perspective that we both have, like coming from these opposite ends of the spectrum of snowboarding, kind of meeting in the middle.
Seemed cool. I love the project. Obviously, footage of you making art and stuff like that. But I want to talk about coming to Brighton. You know, you hit a lot of the classics. Seth probably hit swimming pool 33 years ago or something. 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, how was it?
It's sick that swimming pool is still getting like hit up. It's insane. I was going through some footage and seeing all this swimming pool stuff from like Canon and you seen all the stuff in Halation on swimming pool. I was like, this is rad. Like this spot has a good legacy, good story. So it's super, super cool seeing like new people hit it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I would definitely say that is the best jump at Brighton and one of the best. I don't know. I mean, as far as like standard kicker. It's like,
Yeah, it's nice. It runs good. It definitely was not part of our plan. Originally, we had planned to stick it in BC and just kind of hang out there, post it up. But, you know, we all know how last season went. Snow was an issue, so we were kind of watching forecasts all over the world, like where the hell should we go? And we saw Utah was getting hit, and I know it was like still a late season for you guys too, but the timing of it was like, all right, we need to go. And what was supposed to be like a 1 week in and out turned into like 3 weeks, and we filmed most of our project here, which was cool. And yeah, it was sick. It was my first time, so you know, seeing all the legendary spots and getting to ride Millie chair was like epic. Definitely love this place.
Did you trip out on the axis of how you just like go up one chairlift and traverse, and then all the shit you seen in videos is there?
Yeah, it's psycho. Like in Whistler, you gotta work for it. Like you might have 1 or 2 runs when it cracks on a powder day to get your goods, and then you're like going for a walk if you want anything decent. Whereas here, like you're lapping Millie all day and you're just hitting a little traverse track, which I already just enjoy, like little single tracks. Like that's fun for me anyway. Kind of get moto style in the little single tracks. It's super fun, but yeah.
I really liked the one shot I really liked was right at the top of crest, the little backside air on the little backside hip, and then banged a back 7 on head wall, or what the kids call LA banks at night.
True.
I loved that. Or was it a cab 5? Was it
switchback 5 or back 5?
switch?
You're talking, but it was your Kiwi buddy.
Mitchie boy.
That was Mitchie.
Yeah. I like that shot. I was like, that is sick.
Yeah,
Seeing, you know, because everyone rides a chair right over that, and
No doubt.
I was filming at night. That always seems like it's kind of a grind.
Oh my God. Especially carrying like a studio light out there that weighs like 80 pounds. It was pretty psycho. That was Finn's idea. Thanks, Finn. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but the footage you get is mad cool. Like we had this like Canon light with like a external battery that we just chucked in our backpack, and then Mitch and I would like ride beside, kind of in tandem, and spotlight on each other while Finn was riding. So it would be like 3 of us riding in a row to get kind of this like backlit shot. That was kind of Finn's vision, which was super cool. It was like fun just to be a part of the production. If you're like, maybe you're not getting the shot, but you're the guy with like the backpack and like the freaking tunnel camera or whatever, the Canon cam or Canon light. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like your guys. I'd love to hear about your mentality making it, because a lot of videos, it's like, I'm gonna back to a fucking king or whatever. It's just about the trick. And it seems like yours was more about creative, executing a creative vision, maybe.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Finn just kind of came to me with his idea, and we sat down, and he was like, yeah, you know, we want to like show the riding, but kind of tell a story at the same time, which I really appreciate, because I think there's a lot of space to kind of grow into that genre of snowboarding, and people are doing it, but I know it's hard to do it without coming off cringe, like having a narrative through your video. It's hard to do that well and still capture the like core audience. So I think he did a good job. I think it's like important to give a little more substance so that like, you know, my parents could watch it and understand it and not just be like, that was crazy, I have no idea what you guys are doing. Whereas this, it's like, oh, there's kind of a storyline, and you know, I feel like I learned something from it just watching it. So, yeah.
I love that intro, like you painted the spot and then it morphs to the video clip.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah, that was crazy. We had that vision early on, and we were hoping to get some more like days in the backcountry to get that particular shot, because we wanted it to be kind of a cool like scene that was like natural, like something that would look like something I would paint anyways. But we had one day out on the snowmobile, so we had this like one shot, and we're like, okay, well, I think this is gonna work. Like, let's try it out. But yeah, it worked out so good. Like Finn killed it with the editing, made this like seamless shot where you're like kind of like walking back from the painting, and the painting turns into the clip. It's kind of a cool, another way to like bridge the art into the snowboarding in a very like tangible way. I feel like that's been in my head for, 10 years for sure, to do something, but to see it come to life in like a tasteful way was really cool.
Did he just give you a screenshot of the frame and then you just painted the screenshot or something?
Well, yeah, exactly. He sent me a screenshot, and I like, to get it to perfect scale, I like used a projector to like get the pieces where they should be and get a sketch, and then try to like match the colors and try to dial it in. But yeah, that was a fun little project.
Do you use a projector for most of the art, or are you free balling sometimes?
Definitely depends. Like, using a projector is definitely like a useful tool if you're just like, okay, I want this particular scale size. Like if you're trying to like paint a specific thing, it's definitely a useful tool. A lot of the work I did in the past was like kind of portraiture of trees, so I wanted it to look like exactly like what that tree looks like, because that was kind of the inspiration, was how unique the tree looks. So I have definitely used it a lot in the past. It's not always, but situational. If you want it to be like super bolts with the scale and stuff and be like totally accurate, it's a good tool to have. And then obviously the painting doesn't paint itself. Even if you have the projector, you still have to like make the painting. You just have like a good rough sketch of it to start with.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I was talking to who was it? Brandon Cocard was on the show a while ago. He said something really cool where I think he said music shares the same space in my brain as snowboarding. And I think with a lot of creatives that don't view it as like a sport as much, maybe it's really apparent. Do you think, does that resonate with you with art sharing the same space as snowboarding?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Just back to the like creative expression, like, yeah, you strap into your board and you have kind of a blank canvas to like show what you want to do and do it in your own way. And that's kind of the same thing as painting. You kind of just do whatever's in your brain, make it like come to life. And when you do, I mean, especially like connecting the media of snowboarding is also like a big part of that process, at least for me, that makes it so much more whole. Because like riding's cool in the moment, you live in the moment and then it's over. But like when you're filming or shooting a photo, to be able to like curate that to be what you envisioned from the beginning is super cool. And then sometimes it even turns out better than you could have imagined. And you're like, holy shit, like this is epic. And then it lives on and you get to share it with other people. So it's like super similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the painting is the video project, and each clip is like a stroke of the brush, if we're going to get philosophical, you know?
It's an element.
And then it all comes together at the end.
Yeah. 100.
Yep. And nothing like a good down bar. That's my favorite stroke of the brush, you know?
Wow.
Sprinkle in a little steel.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. Yeah.
What videos did you grow up on? Like what inspired you? What videos inspired you when you're jibbing farm machinery and all sorts of rad stuff?
Chicken troughs.
Yeah, chicken troughs.
I think like the first videos that I got my hands on was like this one. I think it was like Sunset Films, like Montreal.
Woo.
That was kind of a Canadian classic right there.
Oh,
like
gee, Max Lejeune.
Max Lejeune, like damn,
Jan
son.
Dolphin.
Yeah, like that kind of put me onto the steel, and I was like, holy shit.
Jibbing troughs.
Yeah, so that was getting me fired up. And then I think like not long after was like Community Project. Like that I watched on repeat and was like, holy fuck, like they're riding mountains and this looks insane. And then, yeah, it was kind of like game on. At that point, I was just starting to get every video I could get my hands on. And yeah.
Insane. All right, I'm going to pivot to a topic I'd like to talk about that I thought was really interesting. I really liked the videos of you painting the outerwear. Is that something is that a direction you want to go with kind of designing outerwear, incorporating art into apparel design, I guess you call it?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like when I make a painting, it sits in a gallery and some people can see it. But if you're not there in person, it's like pretty hard to have access to it. So I think like just the medium of like this, you know.
Did you paint that hoodie or draw it?
Nah, this is a Cole Navin.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, shout out.
Damn.
I know.
Cole killed it on that.
Yeah. So yeah, like this kind of stuff, like it's cool. It's cool to just see like, you know, something we're all familiar with, like the North Face logo. You see it all the time, but to see like someone's creative spin on it, see Cole like kind of recreate it in a new way, keeps it fresh. Yeah, that's definitely like super inspirational. And yeah, I definitely have been diving into like a different avenue with art lately and just kind of like trying to find new ways that I could like make things that would be more like transferable to apparel and clothing and stuff. Cause it's just like, it's just cool. It's just more accessible. Like you could like walk around with a t-shirt on that has something on it rather than this like elite, you know, this multi-$1,000 painting that's only sitting in a gallery. So it's kind of cool. I like the accessibility of it.
Yeah, I was looking at you airbrushing some of the North Face jackets and stuff. Some of that, have they made any of those?
Not yet. I've been chatting a bit with the designers, and it's like definitely a lengthy process, and things have changed since like Cole was working on this capsule. But yeah, hopefully it comes down in the pipes. I've been working a little bit with Autumn with Brad, and yeah, we got some stuff coming out in the fall. Which should be pretty cool. But yeah, it's definitely a new avenue to go down, which is super cool. It's like, I don't know, if you're a musician, you're like playing a new instrument or something, you know, it's like a different way to like, yeah, put a new spin on what you've been doing.
And is Cole Navin doing design stuff there too now?
I can't confirm that, but I know he's definitely like involved and like he's definitely a key member in like giving feedback for stuff and like what's what's working and what's not, which is awesome because Cole's definitely got a good style and knows what's good.
Yeah, Cole, and then Pashley, kind of questionable.
Yeah.
Did you answer his part 2 of his question about being at his little, as he quoted?
Yeah.
We kind of got a long circle back here.
Yeah, so Pashley was the invited pro rider, and I was his amateur, which was an interesting dynamic. But yeah, that was cool.
So he was mentoring you.
Yeah, for sure. Mostly what not to do. But yeah, that was sick. Like, that was such a cool trip. Like, big ups to Estelle and Jeff Bentiero at the Baldface. Like, they have created such a important part of our like snowboarding culture and community, and this event is like a perfect example. They basically invite 20 pros, and every pro gets to invite an AM to kind of like bring along, and it's like super organic, like super loose. Like, there's no like format or like, you know, structure to the week. It's just like, we're all here together, you guys all hang out, and like you just see like mentorship happening naturally. It's not contrived in any way, which is really cool. I think it's hard to like create something that's that authentic. And I think they did that in such a great way. I've gone, I think, twice, and I'll be heading back again this year again, which I'm super excited about. It's a exciting group. You got a crew of like 40 people, and we're all in our cats, but at some point we have these like super sessions where we all get to a zone and we hike around, and you got like 40 people who are all like chucking off everything, and it's a pretty awesome energy to be around, for sure.
Killer.
Yeah, they have kind of like some stuff built in front of the lodge, and then it's like, if the snow's good, it's like, no, we're just riding powder.
Yeah,
so
100%.
That's always, I love that part.
Yeah, definitely. We the first year we got to ride Scary Cherry.
Yeah.
And it was mental. I couldn't believe how steep that pitch was. Like, seeing the footage from the OG like Supernatural, I think it was called, or Ultranatural, Travis. And like, oh my God, it puts it into perspective. Like, if you're tricking off anything at the top, like, it's pretty intense. There's a lot of trees. Yeah.
That slope's a 2-hitter, but you're like, wow, it's
also
that
some of the
big.
gaps out to the pillows.
Yeah.
Dogs. Dogs.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Crazy.
killer. Any big nights in the lodge?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every night, especially when Austin Smith rings the bell. That's when you know it's on. Or gets behind the bar when Austin's pouring the drinks. Yeah, he's pouring some stiff shots.
Yeah. Have you ridden with Austin a bunch?
Yeah. I've gotten a few trips with Austin. He's hilarious, for sure. There's never a dull moment.
You go on those North Face Athlete Summit things? Have you
Yeah.
done those? What are those all about?
I mean, they are like a highlight, I think, of my year every year. I've been to 3 now.
What's the concept? What's the purpose of doing this?
So 150 athletes from all around the world. We got like trail runners, rock climbers, mountaineers, skiers, snowboarders, and we're all just in this melting pot of like, every day we're doing different activities, and we're having like workshops and guest speakers. Like, we had Tom Hackett coming in and do a talk about, you know, all the stuff on the surgical side of the world and in the sports industry and stuff, which is really cool and insightful. And yeah, it's sweet. Just like being in the presence of greatness, you know, just hanging out with like Alex Honnold and Jimmy Chin, you're like pinching yourself, like, how the hell did I end up here? Like, I was jibbing chicken troughs a few years ago. And like,
Jib and trough.
Yeah, jib and trough. And now I'm just like sitting next to, you know, Honnold and at dinner, and it's like, what the fuck?
I think Shuby or Blake or somebody was saying that the trailer runners get the most gooned out of everybody.
I wouldn't go that far. I think there's a select few. It's a type. They're either like going hard or they're not going hard at all, and they're up at 5 a.m. and already ran 30K by the time you got out of bed.
Which sector goes the hardest at the bar?
Like hands down, snowboarders
Really?
and skiers. Like the snow sports are like definitely staying out. And it's funny, like we've heard it a couple times now already, that like the trail runner like TMs are like, you guys, seriously, you guys, like, you stay away from the snowboarders. Like, they're a bad influence. It's like, yeah, it's true.
That's dope. And so it's just you just team bonding.
Yeah, it is. It's fully team bonding. It's really cool. Like, I think a lot of projects definitely like authentically emerge just from like spending time with each other, getting to know each other, like people you maybe wouldn't otherwise have had a chance to connect with who are like living in Europe or whatever, or maybe doing a whole different sport, but you connected on some level and you're like, damn, like we should do something together, you know, work on some kind of creative project. So it's really cool that they facilitate that. It's been such a long running thing. I think it was I think they were the first company to even do anything like that, an athlete summit.
Did you watch Circle of Madness? Sidebar.
Oh my God.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
It's fucked up.
Yes.
Insane. Like
that's a North Face project, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Victor De La Rue and Marcus Heder. It is the name. Like it's the Circle of Madness. It'll keep you coming back to watch it again and be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's absolutely psychotic what they were doing.
Yeah.
Guessing they probably burned a little budge on that one too.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of heli budge.
Mm-hmm.
Little heli budge going.
They did like splitboarding too, though, right?
Yeah, so the first year they had like a solid amount of heli time in Alaska, and then I think it was the second year where they posted up. They like posted up on a top of a ridge where they could literally ride pillow lines out of their tent.
Yeah.
And from there they were hiking up and splitboarding up, posted up in that zone. But yeah, I mean the stuff they were doing is mental. Like putting together freestyle AK lines is insane.
Okay, people, we're going to talk to you about Goodr. We're talking sunglasses, Sunny G's. Cheap, affordable, high-quality sunglasses starting at only $25 a pair. You got a 1-year warranty and 30-day return policy. Who wants to spend $200 on a pair of sunglasses when you can spend $25? You get a whole bunch of them and lose them and still have 5 extras. That's what I like about it. They're lightweight and comfortable, 100% polarized, no slip, no bounce. They got all different types of styles and colors. They got speed shades, they got OGs, lots of sleek looks on there, and they're designed for everyday use, or if you want to get sporty, grab some Goodrs. I like to wear mine when I'm splitboarding on the skin trail, you know, eating some granola, throwing the sunnies. You're feeling good. And because they're affordable, and if you're like me, you can lose them and just buy another pair. You don't feel bad about it. If you need a pair of sunnies, Goodr is giving Bombhole listeners free shipping. You can go to goodr.com/bombhole and use promo code bombhole for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's goodr.com/bombhole and use promo code bombhole for free shipping. All right, people. We're talking nicotine pouches right now. We're talking Lucy Breakers. They're 100% nicotine, no tobacco. And they got a little nug in there, a little capsule. You pop it, it's a bit of a flavor blast. I quite enjoy it. They also have a subscription plan if you just want nicotine pouches delivered right to your front door. Easy peasy. I personally like the berry citrus flavor. I go 8 milligrams on them. And I love them with a cup of coffee in the morning. I hate to say it. I love to hammer these things. So check out lucy.co and use promo code BOMBHOLE and you'll get 20% off your order. They got a 30-day refund policy if you don't like it. Again, that's lucy.co, promo code BOMBHOLE for 20% off your order. And also, one thing to know is that Lucy products are only for adults of legal age. Every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Okay, we're excited. We're excited about a little thing called Snow League. We're talking biggest prize purse in all of snowboarding. $1.5 million is rumored to be the prize purse. And this is going to be a 4-stop points chase where they crown a season-long champion, both male and female. It's head-to-head format, something new and exciting for snowboarding half-pipe competitions. Riders will drop it in on both sides of the pipe, so you'll get to see varying pipe runs, which is exciting for me. All the heavy hitters are coming out. We're talking Matty Mastro, Ayumu, Valentino Giselli, Lil Kitaki. So the first one is just half pipe, and that is at Aspen Snowmass, March 7th and 8th. And if you want to get tickets, check out thesnowleague.com. If you sign up before February 6th, they'll be free for qualifiers. And then if you sign up for finals before March 1st, the the tickets are only $50. It'll be $60 after that. And if you're a Colorado resident, you save 50% before March 1st. So check out thesnowleague.com for your tickets. Also, the event's going to be on Peacock, which is huge for snowboarding. We heard about the broadcasters that are announcing it. Very excited about the broadcasters. And there'll be an encore recap on NBC, snowboarding on NBC, and that'll be in March. So if you want to check out the Snow League, go to @the_Snow_League on their social media. Lots of behind-the-scene content. So event 1 will be at Aspen, and then event 2 through 4 are to be determined. So lots of exciting stuff from Snow League. Huge prize purse. Check out thesnowleague.com for more info.
Oh, so wild.
All right, we got one last guest question. This is from your fiance.
Oh, shit.
Here we go.
Hey, baby. We're missing you so much here. Oh. The question I wanted to ask is because I just believe that so much of our story is tied to the people who gave us life and raised us. So I was hoping you could tell the people about Geraldo and Mardrizzle, like what makes them unique and special to you, and what like qualities of spirit do you see in them that you're hoping to embody in you. Love you.
Thanks, baby. I don't know if you could hear my little kitty cat meowing in the background. Shout out Ember. Yeah. Geraldo and Marjizzle, a.k.a. Gerald and Marlene, those are my parents. And, yeah, they're pretty unique characters. My mom is like, her nickname is like the Flock Boss. She fully has like a t-shirt that says Flock Boss on it. And she kind of like rallies the troops and like keeps shit in order. And like, yeah, she's just like super key organization and keeping people on track. Whereas my dad is definitely on the other end of the spectrum where he's like, you go to his shed and there is tools all over the goddamn place and you're trying to find a wrench, like good luck. And so, yeah, I don't know. My dad definitely like instilled some cool just like values of like making sure that what you're doing is like filling up your cup in the world and doing something good. And not just like taking, make sure that you're like giving back to whatever like community you're a part of. And yeah, I don't know. My parents are sick and I'm super thankful. My mom was like stay-at-home mom and raised 6 kids. And I know if my dad had it his way, he wanted a clean dozen, being the egg farmer that he is. And I think we would have been homeschooled and pretty sheltered. And I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd probably be forking shit right now. So, big shout out to my mom for getting us into sports and sending us to school and getting out there and learning some social skills.
That's amazing. I heard you're a big cat guy.
Yeah.
Like we're talking cat. This guy takes his cat on a walk on a leash. I need to know about this. This is fascinating to me.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't always a cat. Like we always had farm dogs, on the farm and, definitely loved dogs, but we always had stray cats. Like people would just leave a box of cats at the end of our road. We lived down like a mile-long dead-end gravel road, and people would dump garbage or dump cats and shit. So we always had some stray cats in the barn that just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And as I was young, they'd be feral, like psycho kitties. So I kind of like took on a hobby of just like training the cats and making them tame so we could hang with them and they could like live in the barn and hunt mice and shit. So I was always kind of like cool with the cats. And then, yeah, moving out to Whistler, not having a huge backyard or anything like that. So cat was definitely like a viable option for a pet. So yeah, we got a little kitty at home and definitely brought it.
You take boy or girl?
Girl.
You take this girl cat on a leash and you go on a walk. The cats go where they want to go. How does that work? Like my cat's not following me anywhere.
Bit of both. Like if you have someone walking in front, especially if there's 2 of us, she'll follow. Like she'll follow a leader if someone's in front, which is sick. So you can get in a little flow and get on a nice little walk. But Yeah, Squamish is just a little bit too dangerous. Like if you love your pet, you're not trying to let them just like go rogue outside. There's like hundreds of bald eagles that are posted up all the time, and owls, and you know we have like a resident coyote that's constantly in our yard, and you know cougars. There's been a cougar sighting like right in our backyard, like so.
You got to keep on the leash.
Keep her on a leash, yeah. Bring her home.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know how the shift between growing up in like farmland Ontario where it's really flat to now like posting up in Whistler and like, you know, just being like a, you know, more into the mountains and free riding and stuff like that. What was the catalyst there? What made you shift from, you know, riding street stuff or whatever to more powder and buying a snowmobile and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, growing up reading magazines, like I was a loyal subscriber to all the mags, and every time I opened up a page to like somebody dropping a fat cliff and like blue sky powder snow was like Whistler, BC. So I knew that's where I wanted to go. I knew that was kind of like the evolution of snowboarding that I wanted to get to, even though I didn't have access to free ride or ride powder at all growing up. I knew like someday I wanted to experience that. It just looked like so cool. And yeah, I think like the first few years I was just, you know, I went from being a park rat in Ontario to being a park rat in Whistler. And I did not own a jacket. Like I was the kid hiking the down rail in a hoodie in a snowstorm on a powder day. And that lasted for a few years. And then it kind of just happened naturally. Like just spending time in Whistler, I was just like, oh, it's a powder day. Like we're going to not ride park today. We're going to go and do some side hits, and we're going to ride peak chair and you know, get some turns and drop off some cliffs. And then that just kind of slowly evolved. And then it got to a point where I was like, dude, I don't even want to go to the park at all, because now I see the mountain like it's a park, and there's jumps and hits all over the place. Like even if it's not a powder day, you can always just like find your own hits. And I felt like that was just so much more fun. You're just like, it's just a lot more liberating being like not confined to like you go straight into this jump and this is like the set landing, you have to go this speed. Whereas like when you're free riding, you're just like total flow state. You're just like pop off this, pop off that. There's little micro transitions all over the place, and you just kind of have to find them and line them up in your own brain, which I feel like doing that for a number of years, just like around Whistler Resort, has helped like shape the way that I look at like a mountain face now in the backcountry. If I go snowmobiling, it's like, oh, okay, like I could see like there's a line that you can, you know, cut across and cross court that and do this. Whereas maybe someone who spent a lot more time in the park is like still looking fall line and like, oh, it's just, where's the straight down jump? Which, yeah, another big inspiration is like Jake Blauvelt doing the whole Naturally project. It's like seeing what's possible and seeing that you can just like, you know, you're kind of like designing your own park run on the mountain, like as you go, which I think is cool because you're riding a unique line that maybe no one else sees, which, yeah, that's pretty sick.
Killer. I totally spaced on a guest question from Dara. Didn't put it in the podcast machine, so I'm going to play it right into the speaker here. Sorry for this clunkiness, but here we go.
Hi, Ben. Hi, Bombhole. This is Dara. I'm stoked to listen to this episode. I hope you guys are having fun. Ben, I've learned so much from you over the years. I love the way you look at the mountains, and you've definitely helped me do some cool shit on my snowboard, so thank you. I really appreciate you. You're so hardworking, and I admire the way you've navigated your snowboard career. I see you initiating a lot of projects and taking things into your own hands rather than waiting for opportunities to come to you. I guess I was just wondering how you figured out how to make this career path work and what being a professional snowboarder means to you and what you think it is these days. I would love to hear your perspective and have you share some of your knowledge. Also curious to hear how your first year of sledding is going. Okay, thanks.
Wow, thanks, Dara. Dara's taking me out for some of my first few days snowmobiling, so big thanks to Dara and the crew. And yeah, it's a whole new ball game learning how to sled in the Whistler backcountry. So I'm still a rookie, but I'm getting there. Give me a few more weeks and I'll still get stuck, but let's be honest.
Embrace the stuck.
Yeah.
Embrace the stuck.
But yeah, thanks for the question. That's that's pretty nice words for sure, and I appreciate that.
Can I give some unsolicited snowmobile advice?
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't take the shovel out until you are so royally fucked. Like, don't take the shovel out until, like, try holding it wide open, shaking it, like, shaking it with the throttle so you chops out the sides. Like, do everything you can do to not use a shovel, and it'll save you. If you can figure out how to get unstuck with the throttle and violently moving the machine or flipping it, that's my advice. But continue on part 2 of the question.
Noted. Thank you. I need all the advice I can get, so thank you for that. I guess, I mean, it's crazy, like, just being a quote-unquote pro snowboarder today and age, I feel like has changed so much, like, whether it be social media or, the way that, magazines have changed and the influence have changed and, like, people's attentions are different. And, I've had a lot of conversations just with peers of mine of, like, just how our job has changed, and, like, I filmed my first video part in 2012 and I haven't really filmed, like, another full part, it's always been, like, edits or montage or whatever. So, kind of just, like, goes to show there's so many different avenues. And I remember, like, Johan was on and he kind of had a quote about how, like, today and age, like, the marketing in snowboarding is like this pie. And I think, like, when we were coming up and when I was looking up to snowboarders like Seth and you, Chris, like, it was mostly like a magazine and a video part. And that's, like, what you did. That was your job. You filmed your video part and you got photos in the magazine, like, job done. Enjoy your summer and go to work again in the fall. Whereas I feel like nowadays there's not even really an off season with social media because, like, everyone wants to see that you're still up to something. So even if you're, like, going for a walk with your dog or up for a hike or something in the summer, you're still, like, kind of want to be documenting different parts of your life. But I think just, like, the landscape has changed so much that all those pieces of the pie, which are, like, whether it's a gear review or, like, a how-to trick tip or just, like, putting on your freaking jacket in your bedroom and showing this product, like, somebody else is doing that. And I think it's, like, connecting to the consumer and it's influencing them. So I think, like, the influencer word is kind of a swear word in, like, snowboard culture. Like, it's not really what you want to be called. You're like, if you're a
trigger word. It's a trigger word.
If you're a passionate snowboarder, the last thing you want to be called is an influencer, because I think it's just kind of associated with someone who's not necessarily, like, skilled at a craft, but is just documenting it, whereas I think, like, as a snowboarders, it's kind of now our responsibility to take up some of that influencers space, because if we let them come in and kind of infiltrate our culture, like, they're just going to dilute it and water it down, and it's not going to be what it could be. So I think as much as I personally would love to just, like, be like, hate on it and be like, oh, like, it's whack that they're taking up, space in our industry, but the reality is, like, if we want to take back control of, like, snowboarding in the way that it's, like, presented, I think, like, we as, like, athletes and, like, content creators, we have to, like, be able to take a slice of that pie back, because it's more than just the video part now. I think I've had conversations with team managers who are like, yeah, the snowboarding is, it's 25% of your job, like, the actual time on your snowboard. I think it's a critical part of being in the industry is, like, you have to be a really good snowboarder to have a spot at the table. But if you're not doing the rest of your job, like, someone else will, and they might not be as good as you at snowboarding, but if they're doing, like, 90% more work than you are on the back end, then it's really hard to decipher, like, who's more valuable, in our industry. So I think, like, yeah, it's a crazy, like, new landscape to navigate. But yeah, I'm trying to find my way through it at least, and figure out ways that I can, like, take a slice of the pie that otherwise someone else who's, like, not as connected to the core of our snowboarding culture would otherwise take and kind of dilute.
Damn, well said. Seth, you've been on the back end of marketing conversations over Volcom for a number of years. Anything to add to that?
I mean, yeah, I agree. Just about. I mean, I guess when I was a snowboarder, or getting paid to ride a lot and film video parts and everything, that's what the job was.
It was so easy.
It was easy.
Damn it,
It was the golden
we had
era.
it good, Seth.
Yeah,
I miss it.
Film
definitely.
a couple rails.
Just
freaking kick your feet up all summer.
Skate.
Must be nice.
Build a mini ramp. Yeah. No, I mean, I really liked that post you put up where you added this cinch to the bottom of your like North Face pants.
Oh, yeah.
The snow pants.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's sick. Like, because, and it's really like a mod maybe you would do, or, like everyone mods their gear and sets up, customizes everything, but you put it on, you just kind of showed that POV or whatever, and you put it on, your feed, and it's like, oh, actually, it is that easy. That's the idea. It's like, and it totally did the job. You got people hyped, and you showed that you can tweak your gear, make it customizable, but you're also saying like, yeah, this gear's sick too. So I think like more of that kind of stuff, and just like you say, like, bringing it back, and because if you like you said, you have that seat at the table, but if you're not doing that other 90%, you're leaving it on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, be cool, like don't do anything, for whoever, like just stay true to the, to what your vibe is and everything. Be cool. It's like, and you can do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of time out there when you're not snowboarding, doing a 540 or something like that.
Well, if you look at it, the thing that trips me out too, you look at some of these like YouTubers in the space. My hat is off to them for their work ethic. It's unbelievable. Some of these guys in the snowboard space doing YouTube are doing like daily vlogs every day, 7 days a week. They're filming, putting it on the internet. Like that is a fucking grind I don't wish on my worst enemy. Like that is like actually so much effort going into that. And then you have the highly skilled pro snowboarder that is like the best, most talented riders in the world, some of them. And they're not going to put a thing on Instagram. They're going to film, 20 tricks. They're going to film their 20 tricks for their part. They're going to be fantastic. But like, can we meet somewhere in the middle, right? Yeah. Can we get those guys that are filming the 20 tricks, the best tricks in the video, just a couple things, throw it on the gram, not daily vlogs, but that's the thing is these guys with the daily vlogs are absolutely like huge followings, but they're just working their asses off in a different type of way. And the landscape is changing a little bit. I don't know, just a random rant there, but
no, that's true.
Those guys are playing to the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're putting themselves out there and like fucking eating a bowl of cereal and all that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think there is a way to like still do it authentically, and not just like sell out and make some like corny shit just because you feel like you have to. But I think there is just like a lot of space that we can take up as snowboarders and like get some of that back into snowboarding, like into snowboarders' hands, and like, yeah, just like find your lane and find something that's like still you and not contrived, but just authentic, and just make something out of it. Because I don't think it's that hard. Like, yeah, making a video of me cinching my snow pants, like I was doing that anyways, and I just like threw a GoPro on my head. It wasn't like this high production, huge thought process. It was just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to share a little bit more behind like a connection to the product that I have, or like some kind of interaction. And I think like these are just like little examples of like ways that we can interact more with people and get some of that value back into snowboarders' hands.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how that stuff engages too. I did like one of those no-so patches, just patched, I hit a tree, whatever, patched my jacket, put up the post, and it engages. And that's not always what the goal is, to like, oh, we need, engagement or analytics. But you just see what actually people kind of, it's like a little mini experiment. You can put up like a insane 720, get like some comments, some likes, whatever, and then you put a patch in a jacket or cinch in your pants, and then it just goes off. And maybe that's the goal, or maybe it isn't, but it's just crazy to see what people organically interact with.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, totally. You look around a lift line, too. It's nuts because when you're actually at the resort, you're like, the amount of people that know what a back 270 to fakie is in this lift line is minimal, but they want to know how to patch their jacket.
It's true.
I want to know about the back 2 fakie, though, personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Just do both.
Patch the jacket, then do a... I actually can't even fucking do a back 2 fakie. God damn it. Dude,
But you've done one.
Switch one. I've done the switch to regs a couple times, but my body's not that... You gotta be limber for that one. You ever do that one, Seth?
Back 2?
No, back 2 to fakie. You hold
No.
I've seen you serve up back.
I mean, maybe at the spot on the 15 bar, but back 2 to just, it's a back 3.
Yeah.
I always kind of stayed with, I never did I did a few pretzels, whatever, but I kind of did one and was like, okay, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I was kind of went with the flow. It was taking me to 5, or it was taking me to 3, or whatever
Us
it was.
boomers, we kind of missed the boat. We missed the boat on bringing all that stuff back.
Lewif just ruined everything.
Yeah, it's true. We kind of it was like bowling. You just roll the bowling ball down, and whatever happens, happens. Where they're like refined. They're putting spin on the bowling ball.
If I'm riding away at the end, that is that's it. Like, that is it. It was a battle. I'm still on my board. We're done.
Yes, that's true. All right, we're getting into a fun section of the show now, hot takes. Are you familiar with hot takes, Seth?
I'm familiar with hot takes.
Yep, okay.
It's where you kind of rapid fire the question, but at the same time, you can
just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Freestyle.
Yeah, we'll start it off. First question is, who's your GOAT, your MJ, your favorite snowboarder of all time, male and female?
Okay, for GOAT for male, Travis Rice.
Woo.
Yeah, hands down. I mean, I really value the kickback, people that are like putting things back into the community of snowboarding, and just seeing Travis do that through and through again and again, seeing what he's done with natural selection. It's like the coolest thing in snowboarding right now. And yeah, so big shout out to Travis. And for a female, I got to give it to Jess Kimura. Seeing her again with the Uninvited, like, she has created so many opportunities for up and coming female riders, and yeah, that's pretty goated, if you ask me.
Great answer. Snowboarding, art form, sport, or lifestyle?
I think I'd have to say lifestyle, but I kind of think of it more as like a life choice. Like, if you're choosing to do this, like, you're gonna figure out a way to make it happen. Like, for me, I didn't grow up near a resort. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have the same access to other people, but I kind of made the choice to like make it happen and use what I had access to get to where I needed to go. So,
life choice.
I like that. I don't think I've heard that.
No,
yeah,
that's the first timer. Who's one of the most underrated snowboarders in your opinion?
Ooh, I got to give that to my boy Marty Vachon.
Woo!
Party Marty.
Woo!
The boy's on a sick one. I mean, come on. Like, yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
give
yep,
him
yep.
some love right now.
The super air horn.
I want to see Marty get put on.
I don't know
Let's
that
go.
he's capable of filming filler.
No.
He doesn't film filler. All A grades.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Steel or powder?
Sorry, Chris.
God damn it.
Definitely powder. But it was steel for a long time. And then
You turned your back on it.
I turned my back, and I'm not looking back. I might hit some steel. I'm down with it. I'll go back.
You don't ride around it.
I don't ride around it.
Okay, good.
No way.
No chicken coops at Christmas time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken trough.
Yeah, I'll hit a trough, go back home for Christmas, hit a trough.
What's the weirdest thing you hit on the farm?
Yeah, what's the weirdest
Oh
farm
my
tip?
God.
That's a good hot take.
That is a good question. Shit. I mean, I've hit, there's so many, dude. I mean, jumped over tractors.
Dan Breezy style. Nice.
Jibbed like other different troughs, like water tanks, like massive water tanks. Yeah, I don't know. Like, just anything that's there, I'm hitting it.
You ever do the thing with the horse where you get towed?
Towed behind a horse? No, we didn't have horses, just cows. But I did jib like...
You ever get towed behind a cow?
No, they're not as like predictable.
They
like,
don't get up to speed.
No, but I have jibbed like there's like a feeder thing where you put the hay in for the cows, and they like there's like slots where they put their head in, and it has just like metal bar at the top. So it's like I don't know what you would call it, but like
there's a term.
A hay feeder for cows, and it was like I had a drop-in ramp that went over the gate, which goes into the barn yard, which is like filled with poo, and then had a hay bale ramp with a bit of snow on it, and yeah, I jibbed that thing like in with the cows. That was like a right after Selfiestickman. I was doing some of that shit. There's footage of it. I could try to dig it up.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see the cow feeder jib.
Yeah.
Cows are feeding while you're jibbing?
Just after. So I jibbed it, and then I put a bale in, and I was like filmed a time lapse, and then the cows come in and eat.
Damn, that's fire. That's a fire clip. Okay, next question. Who's got your favorite style ever?
Ooh. Right now, honestly, it's just Arthur Longo. Like, he's just so bolts and creative. Like, he's a big inspiration. Like, friends of mine have always tossed around the idea of like making a video of just side hits, like, because no one ever films that. And Arthur just did it as good as you could do it. And I feel like that's inspired and influenced so much of snowboarding today. And it's like, damn, respect.
Who's got your favorite method?
Shit. Right now, like, I kind of fucking with Gabe Ferg, Fat Gabe.
Woo!
Like,
woo.
Yeah. He's got a sick one.
Goddamn half pipe. You're mentioning two guys with good half pipe fundamentals. That really helps.
That's the key.
All right, favorite snowboard video ever made?
Damn. That's a heavy question. I mean, I gotta just go with Landline, I think. Like, it's like straight up like emotional. Like, I almost tear up watching that thing. It's just like a piece of art.
Little sidebar, Tanner Pendleton was editing that when he lived here at this house.
No way.
And we'd get 16 rolls back, and he'd like be like, oh, I got a new roll. And it was pretty exciting times.
Damn.
Next question. Favorite board graphic ever made?
It's the Jamie Lynn, the one with the naked purple girl on it and the cat. I think she's petting the cat or something.
Timeless.
Yeah.
You go heliboarding, 3 people in the bird, good times, whack and pow turns. Who's going in the bird with you?
Shit. See, that I haven't really thought much about.
Yeah. It's a big question. I grenaded. I didn't think. I've asked that question 7,000 times.
Oh my God. See, I'd like to take some like celebs. Like, I liked the Mike Tyson. Like, that's pretty flame.
Charlie Sheen was one of them, I believe.
Oh my God, dude.
Said Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Did Kevin Backstrom say that? I can't remember.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen and Mike Tyson are probably my 2 favorites. I mean, comedians are always good.
I want like David Blaine up in there, like doing some magic tricks, just fucking with the pilot or something crazy. Like, I don't know. I think like some weird shit would go down up in there.
Okay, so David Blaine's got 1 seat. You got 2 left.
Okay. I gotta take like my older brother, Nate. He hasn't been snowboarding in probably 10 years, but I think just like getting him in the bird would be crazy.
So we got your older brother, we got David Blaine.
And
he's taking the 3rd seat.
I gotta take my fiance, Megan Ann. She's gotta come. I've
interesting crew.
I have missed. Yeah, weird crew.
Glacial picnics.
I have missed her birthday to go heli boarding, and so I owe her one.
Yeah, let me know how it goes hanging with Blaine.
Blaine. I don't know.
Will Ferrell would be a good one.
Oh, that's a fucking great. Yeah,
laugh
like
the whole time.
Get some comedians in there.
Get some comedians.
I like that.
Yep, that's always a good one. Okay, next question. Dream sponsor, anything in the world?
Oh, we talked about this last night. I was thinking like people were saying like Delta or something, but I was like, what about like Expedia? So you could get like your rental car, your spot booked, and your flight. You could just like travel for free and be
Expedia's covering all that.
All that
type of in the contract. How does that?
Yeah,
unlimited budge.
Yeah, it's in the DocuSign. Like you just got A to B done.
All travel taken care of.
Make sure you can change it though, because Oh,
Expedia
yeah.
is kind of sketch.
You
though.
can't change it.
Expedia is like
Once you-
third
once
party.
you pay
bro.
that, you're locked in.
You're kind of like Expedia is a little sketch, but I like it. It's first new answer. Okay, next question. First try, go to backcountry step down, like a pat down. What do you need to land?
Yeah, front three.
What are you grabbing?
Melon.
Woo.
Yeah, that train's never late.
Yeah, that one hits. Okay. Last question. Worst trend. What do we got?
Maybe just like, yeah, being jaded, or like, I feel like there's a lot of like, you know, waiting around for opportunity to come, kind of what Dara touched on. I feel like that's just like a common thing. Like, oh, how come, you know, I'm not getting shine, or this isn't happening for me, or whatever. Like, I feel like if you want something to happen, like, go out and fucking get it. Like, go do it. Cause waiting around for an opportunity to come, like, you know, I'd love to do a collab with the North Face on some product. I'm not waiting around for them to ask me. I'm painting on jackets, like, and I'm just going to keep doing that, you know? And I don't know if that's the way to like make that happen, but I just think like, if you want something to happen, like, go do it. Like, don't wait around and complain about why it's not happening for you and it is for someone else. I think it's good to just go get her done.
Great. That's a freaking great take.
Yeah,
that's
great
what we call a hot take.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hot take. All right, next question. Setups. What board are you running? Is that Sage's new rig?
It sure is. Sage J-Stone collab. That's the Antidote. That's kind of my go-to. It's very like, it's directional twin, but it rides switch just as good as regular. I think it's got the float. Yeah, that's my go-to. And then I got the Formula binding, also K2s. I ride the Evasion boot by K2, the Curtis Cizik signature. Yeah, and then if we're going outerwear, I'm riding like the new Hex kit by the North Face. It's got a baggy fit. It's like all totally redesigned kit that I'm super hyped on.
Is that Gore-Tex or is that their own tech?
We're back on Gore-Tex, which is really exciting, and yeah, it's working good. I'm super hyped on it.
Killer. Okay. Only couple questions left. You want to throw any thank yous before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I mean, thank you to my fiance, Megan Ann. Thank you to my parents and all my family. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Thanks for Liam for being here and sitting in the Silky D's.
I got a hot take.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Okay, hit it.
Brown or white eggs?
Brown eggs.
Oh, that's a good hot
For
take.
sure. Damn, that was like heavy.
Yeah,
that's heavy.
Why brown eggs?
Yeah, why brown eggs?
Yeah,
it's a different breed of chicken.
I thought it was just the color of chicken.
Well, yeah, it's a different breed, different color.
So
our hens are brown and they lay brown eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, but so basically, like, it's more common that in like the industrial scale of, you know, egg production, it's usually like white chickens and white eggs, and they're like cooped up in a cage. My dad's are all like cage free. And
what's the best type of egg to buy? Free range.
So
I don't know. There's all the different.
Yeah, so free range is like, that means they're not living in a cage, and then organic is like the feed that they're eating is organic. That's kind of it. It's like free range organic. That's kind of all you really need to worry about.
Good,
amazing.
Good egg info.
Yeah, we know that's. I'm glad. Thanks for clarifying.
Little sidebar.
That was great. Really interested. Also, if you could talk to your dad and get a direct line for the ammonia so we could start producing our own smelling salts, let us know. If we could have free range organic smelling salts.
Oh, wow.
Dude, we could just get into Whole Foods.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Rip them all day.
All right, last question. What's next for Ben Poechman?
Just like more of this, really. I'm like super excited on snowmobiling, and it's kind of opening up a whole new world in Whistler for me. So I'm just going to keep learning how to snowmobile, getting stuck out there, and yeah, just continue experimenting with art and just, yeah, making shit. I think it's just important to like keep at it, keep doing it. And yeah, nothing exact for plans, just more of this.
Killer. Well, we did it, guys. Great show, man.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys.
That was really fun. Did you have fun, Seth?
I had a great time.
Did you have fun, Liam?
I had a great time.
Ben, did you have fun?
This is a blast. Yeah.
Cool.
Love the
it.
bomb hole.
All right, we got to figure out who's going to take us out of the show. Seth, I'm thinking you might have this dialed in.
I got this, Chris. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Liam, for joining us on this show. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for the bomb hole and everything it provides. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Woodward, Bubs, Pub Beer, Herschel, Nitro, Goodr, Lucy, Snow League, Ski-Doo, and Smith.
What else? You got to take us out of the show, too. You got to give us a sign off. Also, our Patreon members.
Thank you to the Patreon.
Yep,
you had some great questions this week. Thanks for tuning in, and join us next week. We will have another heater episode. See ya.
Nice, Seth. Damn professional. Woo!
It's my first takeout, you know.
Yep.
It was my first time taking us out.
You were driving.